having a song placed in a key film can really launch a career.
Yep.
Especially for songwriters.
Yeah, so I think you actually placed more than one song for her.
So I did. I had one that I had 3 artists, and I believe 2 of them, 2 of hers got on. Yeah.
Yep. So she did very well with that. And of course, once that thing hit DVD and everything else, you gave her enough mailbox money to say, yeah, I'm going to move to the UK and, all that. So that's what she did. So I'm going to find out
good.
more, and hopefully we can get her, because that was a long time ago, and she's still in the UK, and she's developed a sustainable career, with music. So that's a very encouraging and exciting thing.
Awesome.
So hopefully for all of us, we can get there with all that. So, Joanne, why don't you just go ahead and talk a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then Steve, you can just go ahead and cue with Joanne to get things started. So, thanks.
Yep.
I gotta talk to my buddy here.
So I have an extensive background. So if you just go to musicbizgal.com, you'll see a lot of that in there. I program the music for United Airlines, well, for multiple corporate companies, 20 different shows in 6 different languages in every genre. So I'm well versed in children's music, classical music, Spanish, Chinese, spotlight, jazz, you name it. When they started flipping over to XM radio, I started working for Taxing Music for a few years as an A&R rep. So I may have you submitted music to them. I was probably one of the screeners for your music. Worked at different I've partnered with different music libraries, and I'll tell you in a second what I'm doing now. I also do artist management. I've taught at college history of rock and roll, concert and event promotion. I am the director of Huck Finn, the largest acoustic bluegrass newgrass festival in Southern California. I believe we're having our 50th year. HuckFinn.com, that's coming up in October. I'm now a member of CBA, California Bluegrass Association, because I do manage 3 bands in that genre. And what else to do? And I have a new music library that will be exclusive, but it is Americana roots and mostly bluegrass music, which will coincide with my online magazine and social media, which is allgrassmusic.com. So I still get lots of requests for music, whether it's custom, buyout. And I pretty much have done so much that I get in a single day. And I think my intern's there. She's sat with me in a single day and heard all of the different places that my hand is in. For example, this morning, I had a guy call me, booking agent, says, I know your bands have toured a lot in Idaho. I need a band for a wedding and a band for a festival. Is there anybody you know? I said, yeah, send me the details. Then I got another call that's saying, I'm looking for music for film and TV for a pilot. Somebody, there's no funds, but if the pilot gets picked up, it's guaranteed 120K. So I'm working on that. I'm working on getting sponsorship for Huck Finn. And then this afternoon I worked working with NAMM to try and have an acoustic folk stage dedicated just for those particular genres. So I'm working with Martin guitars and some of the strings, pierced strings, and some of those things. So that's what goes on in a typical day for me. Is I've been in this industry for so long that people just love to reach out, because within a minute or two, I understand what their needs are, and they trust me to do whatever I need to do to fulfill that particular niche. Just want to say one more thing. My favorite thing to do of all the jobs, teaching, mentoring, doing contracts, touring with the band, my favorite thing to do is this right here, critiquing music for songwriters to help them monetize on their music. So I'm thrilled that I not only get to do this once, but twice a year with Jimmy and a lot of other songwriting organizations. Because like I said, one of the things that you are doing for me is providing me new songs. So when I get that call, I'm not submitting the same songs, or I'm not reusing the same songs, and I'm opening up more doors so that when you become rich and famous, you'll remember me. So thank you for sharing your songs, because you're songwriters, you're sharing your heart and your soul with me. And I'm going to try as best I can to match your heart and soul with the particular buyer or usage. provided that the songs are great and they're broadcast quality. There you go. And I do work all genres, kids music, Tuvian throat singing. I just did some Native American. So it's okay if you think that your genre is funky, and it's okay if you don't know what your genre is, because I'll help you to pinpoint that as well.
All right, looks good. So we've got at least a dozen submissions as far as Steve told us. So
Right.
we'll do the usual thing.
I'm
As
Madison.
usual.
Okay, who's going to be up first?
Let's see. Let's have Catherine Beck. And
Oh, there's Catherine.
It
Catherine,
interesting.
Catherine, I think you sent me an email. Did you for a Christmas song? Okay, it's in my queue. I just haven't got to it. I just got back Sunday, but I haven't responded because I haven't heard it yet.
Hey, Catherine, you can unmute yourself there. And for the rest of us,
that's okay. I sent
please
the same
mute.
one today.
And then also for those of you that are not listed with your name, Galaxy A12 and iPhone, if you could put your name up there so we know who you are, we'd really appreciate that. And
Oh, I see a lot of familiar faces.
Yep.
Larambe is back. Let's see here. I see my intern. Okay.
the team will say he'd be checking into. So.
Okay.
And Joanne, if you need me to adjust the volume, let me know. Okay.
Okay. More so pay attention to my cues if I want to stop and start.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And
Oh, is this the one you sent me, Catherine?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
let's see. So let's start.
Everybody needs a little Christmas in their life. A whole bunch of bright lights and a whole big bunch of nice. It makes the year go smoother. It makes our fears run cooler. Everybody needs a little Christmas in their life. A new dream of hope, a ray of sunshine in the dark. It makes our steps go smoother. It makes our hearts sing hallelujah. As long as there's Christmas in your heart. As long as there's Christmas in your heart. Everybody needs a little Christmas in their life. Call from an old friend, a true love that never dies. It makes our hearts seem lighter. It makes the world seem brighter. As long as there's Christmas in your heart. As long as there's Christmas in your heart.
Okay, good. That's good. Perfect. Wow, that's really fantastic. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, it's July. So Christmas started about a month ago, and we're still in Christmas right now. So just take note of that. This is the time to start pitching your Christmas songs as 3 to 4 months in advance. This is when you want to start looking for the different buyers, you know, the taxi music and the broad jams and the X-ray music and all those organizations that are calling out. You're going to start to see those listings right now at this time. As far as the song, it's great. Words are great, very inspirational. It's adult contemporary right now. I mean, if it was recorded differently, you can always tweak it to, you know, go twangy or go more poppy or whatever. So, and that is an option because it's demo quality right now. So if I was to go, and there's a lot of listings now that will accept demo quality because they're going to re-record and have somebody sing it or something like that anyways. So when you do look for these listings, make sure that it says it's acceptable to submit demo qualities, because this is a perfect song that could be easily imagined by a producer or a buyer as a full-length, fully published Christmas song. One of the things that I would do if, Catherine, like if you had funds to go in the studio and record it professionally with everything, and I would switch some of the instrumentation that you used. It's very adult contemporary, but I wouldn't have used sort of the synth, and instead of some of the crash, I might have used jingle bells in the beginning. Some sounds that are more typical of Christmas in there instead of the crash cymbals. But I like how you've placed your setup and the room in between your verse and your chorus. But I would just add additional instrumentation. So actual real strings, maybe in the beginning, have sleigh bells going. That's a tip off. It's about Christmas. But it's a great song. So it's demo quality. It's got all the right lyrics for the first half of what I heard. Obviously, I can't always critique on the whole song just because time constraints. But if the second half is as good as the first half, it's either A, ready to go into production to be quality produced, or B, it's ready to go now if you submit it as a demo quality song for someone to cut for Christmas. Right now, because it's July, you probably might not see too many demos, because if someone's going to demo it, they're going to schedule time and book it and record it professionally and just buy it out. So it might be a little late in the season for that. But if you're just going to try to sell it as a demo for someone to record, then it's good to go now. So just always remember the time of year whenever you're doing seasonal music. But June, the airlines, they start programming probably about 4 months in advance. So that means I'll need this, the MP3 and the files and all that by then. But for Christmas shows and things like that, it's usually about 6 months if they're going to try and cut it or re-record it for a special sort of Christmas show. Okay, audience, definitely it's going to be the companies that do Hallmark and and OWN, all those different television or obviously pitches because of the Christmas movies and the Hallmark movies. So those would be great as well. It's a well-written song and it's ready for Christmas. Do you have a question, Catherine? Or
yeah, like Hallmark is impossible to get it to
because
they're in Canada and they have their own writers. It's just
mm-hmm.
do
you know who any of the writers are?
No.
Have you ever looked them up have you ever gone to let me just think of one. LinkedIn. Have you gone on LinkedIn and searched for anybody under writer or under the company name and see what names come up? And then Google research their name, see if you can get access to their email and say, hey, Joanne Ledesma, I understand you're one of the Hallmark writers. Would it be possible if I could, would you be interested in or am I able to send you a link for one of my Christmas songs to see if it's suitable for any of your programming needs? And so don't be afraid to be proactive with that. I would never take that as a no. Well, they're in Canada and they have their own in-house writers. That's not acceptable to me in this business. I would go after them. And they move around and they change a lot. So they might have it and they may say, well, I do in-house writer, but my friend over here, he could probably use it for this or that. So don't be afraid to be proactive and do the footwork to get a hold of them. And it's not just that company, there are other companies as well. Anything, from Hulu to Apple TV. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll contact the film school and say, is anybody coming out with a Christmas film out of the film school? I'd be happy to loan this song out for free as long as my name's in the credits and the title. And if it ever goes public or gets picked up, I'd like to get a contract to use this song in your film. There's all kinds of ways to be proactive with that. When someone says no, then that's not really a no. It's just you got to find a workaround. Does that make sense? Yeah, because it's a great song. You don't want it, don't just don't just shut it down because of your first no.
Okay.
All right, any other questions on that one? Thank you, Catherine. It's worth the pitch. It's definitely worth the pitch. Again, go to broadcast, Broadjam, go to Taxi, X-Ray Music. There's a bunch of them. Monument. Just Google the top 20 music libraries. And then see if they have a Christmas or if there's a contact or how they accept submissions. So don't just give up on the Hallmark Channel. My boyfriend lives next door to a producer who does all of that, the Hallmark stuff, and they have in-house writers because I've tried to push the door open. And she's told me to send the songs. And she's told me that, you know what, we may actually make a film out of the song. Right? Santa Claus is coming to town. There's a cartoon or there's a show called Santa Claus is Coming to Town. So if it's a great song, you know, then they can actually build a storyline around it and build it. So you can do it that way. So a lot of the no's are they don't have the opportunity to filter all the flood of income they're getting and requests. So they've got to somehow sort of shut it out. And so the next thing is, okay, well, then let's see if we can get a hold of somebody who works in that department that I become friends with, that I can talk to, that can maybe suggest ideas. You might just say, hey, I'm not really trying to pitch this song to you for any of your programming, but since you're in the field, you might know other people who could use a song like this. May I send it to you? So plant the seed. Okay.
Is there anybody I could hire to do it for me? Because I'm not very good at this stuff.
I mean, I'm sure I used to do this. I don't because I'm too busy with my hands and everything. Lupita, are you listening to this? She's an intern of mine that I've been training.
Hello. Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, so there may be people who are computer savvy that you might be able to reach out to know that. So if anybody's interested and has that ability or wants to do it, you can also just type in a note there in our comments to see if you can help her, because I get that a lot. I've got one guy left that he pays me to help him with that, but once this 6-month retention claimer is done, I won't do it anymore because I just don't have the time to do all of that right now.
Okay.
So, and then right now, like if you had a catalog of like 60 songs and I was just all over them, I would probably spark my interest as opposed to one song that's seasonal. So just because I'm saying I wouldn't do it right now, but if you had a stellar catalog, you know, I could say, oh my gosh, there's money here to be made, then I would jump on it. So that's always a possibility. I don't want you to think just because I said not with this one particular song that I won't do it, but that doesn't mean that you can't come back with 10 Christmas songs and we'll do this together next year, starting in June.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see. So next we'll have Dan Marcus. This is called Come Hell or High Water.
Where's Dan at? Oh, hey, Dan. Dan's in the dark. Okay.
Okay, so share screen.
It's a world full of grief, it's a world of regret. And what it's about, babe, I haven't found yet. No, I'm still searching, I know what to do. Come hell or high water, I'm gonna love you. Come hell or high water, I'm gonna love you. 'Cause you hold the memories that I never knew. In a world full of lies, babe, you show me what's true. Come hell or high water, I'm gonna love you. I'll step off the highway and live for today. 'Cause I found a place, babe, where I wanna stay.
Okay.
I've climbed many mountains. I know you have.
Very clever. Very textbook on contemporary country. I like it a lot. How was this recorded, or where was this recorded? But I think your volume's not on. Are you muted?
Muted myself.
There it
Okay,
is.
thank you. That was recorded in Nashville.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was it one of those where you pay them and they deliver you a song, or did you perform on the record, and did you do who did the production?
Mark Riddick did the production. I was there.
Okay.
I did that as part. I went with a friend and we recorded. Did a session of like around 4 songs, 4 or 5.
Uh-huh.
And the singer is a guy named Red Marlowe, who made a splash on The Voice for a while. He
Okay.
was one of the finalists, and that's it.
So I like the song, and I like the arrangement, and I like the storyline. I think it's actually kind of quirky and fun. I don't usually like a lot of straightforward contemporary country because I'm more of an Americana outlaw girl. But I
Okay.
think this is textbook contemporary country. If I had it, because, well, there's 2 different ways to go. You can go for the contemporary country pitch as a broadcast quality song, because it's broadcast quality. For me personally, and what I've been placing in contemporary country, I think it needs a little more fluff on the instrumentation and dazzle to compete with what's on the market. Because right now, if you listen to contemporary country, it's not the Glenn Campbell stuff that we're used to, which is more of what you have. It's very overproduced, Carrie Underwood, full on balls out, it's that way. So if I was saying, well, what's the easiest way, or what's the closest way for me to monetize money without losing the value, the storyline of the song, is maybe pitch it to someone who's, because it's hard to get to the Carrie Underwoods of the world and the Clint Blacks, and plus they're all songwriters already. But a lot of the outlaw country people are pretty accessible. They still read their own emails, that kind of thing. And I may recut an additional version with some like what do I want to say, like some, like a Telecaster sort of ripping it, and maybe with the
Right.
dirtier vocal, something
Right.
that's more grungy, not so on cue, more rowdy in the vocal line, like the Blasters or somebody, and not so clean cut. I think if you reached out or pitched them, they may take interest in it. It's broadcast quality enough to hear it. But I just think if it was like, well, I have 2 options, which one would go? I think the outlaw would just be more accessible and less competitive. But then the pop country makes you more money, right? So there's no right or wrong choice. I just think for pop country, it needs more definition. It's not commercial pop country enough, because it doesn't have the extra fluff that everybody's buying. Not that I like it, but that's what the market is today.
Right.
But if it's dirty and outlaw, then you could be Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard for years, and there's no fluctuation. You're not going to hear those guys with electronics and a little EDM and some electronic drums behind them and full produced stuff on it.
Right.
Is it a well-written song? Yes, for sure. Now that's for commercial use. For sync use, it's pretty much there and ready to go. And it's probably going to have better placement opportunities for sync because it doesn't have all the fluff. It works under dialogue, right? So, all of the shows, the Yellowstones and all that kind of stuff that's going on, it would be perfect for sync. So I would definitely look for sync opportunities when you're reading posts on submitting your music. To do that way, I think, and it could probably earn more money that way. It's really hard to crack the commercial songwriting, because generally all the big names in country music, either A, they're writing their own songs, or B, they're hiring pro writers that spit this stuff out. you know, so there's usually that guy that they want to use for their next song, even though they've never heard the song. They know
Right.
that that's the guy they want to use because he had a hit for so-and-so. That
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's why it's hard to sort of crack that door. Oh, you
Mhm.
don't live in Nashville, do you? Do you live in Nashville?
No, I do not.
Okay. That always helps.
I know it does help. No, but
And then
I
it, then
do
it
not.
also can hurt you because you know, what they say is that you can throw a quarter out of a window in Nashville and you'll hit 10 songwriters in the head. So it's also very competitive as well.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
why these online opportunities work really well. These X-Ray Music and Marmouth and all that stuff work really
Right.
well. The taxi musics, because you don't have to be in front of them to be able to push that.
Right.
But overall, it's a great song. I love the storyline. I wouldn't change the lyrics based on the first half that I heard.
Okay.
You tried to pitch it yet, or is this still a new product?
I haven't pitched it very much. It's fairly recent.
Yeah, I would go for some of the sync opportunities first, see if it lands.
Okay.
Here's something you should all pay attention to. He went to the studio, paid the band the price to have the song cut. Maybe take extra money and say, I've got $300 extra, Mr. Producer, studio guy, can I buy another hour? And can I have this guy play lap steel or some twanging guitar? And can I have the same song, but can I have this guy come in for an hour? I'll send him when you have a free hour to do a different vocal, a more grungier vocal, right? So you
Right.
so you don't have to spend that much money and sort of recut your song in 2 or 3 different ways, especially if you're
Right.
doing in that market, in anything country, outlaw, you know, contemporary, old school country kind of deal. Just take that, it takes a little extra money to pay the producer to maybe track a female vocal on it.
Yeah.
Right. So here's
Excellent.
$100 for you. Here's $100 for if you can find me a female. And then so $200, you now have 2 full-blown songs ready to pitch.
Good idea.
Okay. So that's another thing. So try to take your song and put it in a different way so that you have 3 or 4 different versions, and then just throw them up to the ceiling and see which ones stick.
Can I ask you a quick question, Joanne?
Sure.
What's your take on traditional country music these days? Is there anybody in your
Well,
estimation going
Are
for
you
that?
familiar with Hank the Third?
Yes.
He's a little more honky tonk
Right.
and less Hank Jr., which is rowdy, right?
Right.
So he's doing it. Not Chris Stapleton, Sturgill Simpson
Okay.
came out with a more of a bluegrass traditional. So they're doing it, and there's a market for it, if that's your question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about anybody else. I'm sort of over the overproduced country contemporary stuff that you hear on radio. So for sure, there's that opportunity. So if it's a great song, no matter what the genre is, it should be able to find a home if it's a stellar song.
Right.
Example is Nora Jones. Where is she? Is she jazz? Is she pop? Is she contemporary?
Yeah.
You know, people had that, you know, what is she? But if it's a great song that you're coming out with, and you can get a few spins on it, there's a good chance it's gonna make its own way through the genres, and maybe it'll even cross over.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So if you've got a good song in your heart that's old school contemporary, there's a lot of people that like that are just not wanting to hear the pop stuff.
Right.
So don't not do that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
If
Thank
you've
you.
got a good song in your soul, just put it out there.
Okay. Will do. Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome. Who's up next?
Next we have Emmanuel Lawrence, and a footnote on this one. He says female singer needed. I think
Okay.
he's singing it, but it should be from the point of view of a female. So
Okay.
let me do the share screen and I'll get it underway here. Okay.
rugged hips. I've seen his smile, heard his laughter, and felt his mechanical moves right after. Now, what makes this man so special to me? Why I understand, how do I believe? Looking past the pipe, past the flame, past the sparking. I'm looking for
So, what genre is this, or what are you going after?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
I think it's either jazz or blues.
Okay, so I don't hear either one of these at all. You know what I heard? I
What?
heard Lyle Lovett and his big band on the vocals.
I'm
That
sorry, who?
Lyle Lovett and his big band. He's sort of a country Americana artist.
Yeah, I know.
I love it.
I love it.
On his big band work, because he's got a lot of albums with different genres. So on the big band work is what I hear, which can kind of be like jazzy because he's got the big band going for him. So there's that. The first thing is, what's the time signature on this?
4/4.
Okay, so was this recorded with a click track?
Yes.
Okay, because I couldn't count it out. So if I can't count it out and you're using a click track, then what's confusing me is the instrumentation. I noticed when you were singing on the second part of the song, you got the shaker and it was just covering up the vocals. So I'm like, I'm trying to hear what you're saying, but I'm not feeling it because I got this thing rattling over it on the shaker. So the instrumentation should not be playing when you're singing, because your vocal is really like haunting and like believable and like serious. And then, but I've got this thing that's shaking behind the background that's like deflecting from it. So the shakers and the percussion should be used around to support and around the edges, but not during the vocal delivery at all. And then all of a sudden I heard bongos or congas. And I'm like, that really threw me off because it's not a Latin song and it's not jazz. If you were going to go jazz, I would have opened up with a saxophone as an intro.
Okay.
And then, but you open it up with electronic drums, and there's usually not a lot of electronic drums in jazz or smooth jazz maybe. So that threw me off as well. So I can't give it a definition. I hear different instruments are giving it different genres. It needs to be pulled into one genre. So I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask everybody else right now, when you write a song, name me 3 artists that sound very similar to what you are doing, that it's making money. So for you, who would those 3 be?
That's a good question. Lyle Lovett would be one.
Okay. That's close. That's really close.
I think
That's
Jill.
really close.
I think Jill Scott could do this song.
But then that shaker's got to go away. The
Right.
conga's got to go away. It's got to have the full band. The intro I thought was a little bit too long for where we went. I had no idea what it was going to be like until you started singing, and it was completely different when I thought this was going to be R&B at first. So the saxophone and the horns, so just change the instrumentation. Lyrics are fine. I love the vocal. I love Lyle Lovett when he does his big band stuff, because they'll go, I had a bad day today. And then everything stops and then he just starts talking. He's just like, when I saw you walk in the room in that beautiful red dress, and then, and then it's like, boom, you're just so focused. But with you had all this music, this piano going and this instrumentation. And then by the time I got to the vocal and I started connecting to the vocal line, all of a sudden the shaker came in and this bongos came in. And then I was pulled out of, I was drawn away from the focus I had. So switch up the instrumentation, listen to a Lyle Lovett song. When you write, like when I work with an artist and we go into the studio, I don't try to write the song. I just try to produce it for its marketability. So one of the things I do with the artist is I'm like, send me 3 to 5 videos and send me one of what you think your drums like say, I don't like this girl's voice and I don't like the music, but I like the style of his drums. That's a cue for me is what you're going for. And then you may send me another video, because this girl's pop, but I like her voice. I just need a country girl who has this high range. I'm like, okay, so you want to have reference videos of what you're to try to help me to figure out what you hear in what you're hearing in the song. But if you just throw randomness in, then randomness comes out.
Understand.
So I would like to know when you write a song like that, especially with a lot of those, you want to know right off the bat, write down what instruments you want to try first that you think that would work, and then why you chose those. Well, because it works for Lyle Lovett, and there has a sax, and he has, you know, the horn section, and he's got this cool guy playing, you know, Strat, and then go into that way.
Okay, thanks.
He has a lot for your vocal. For him, there's a lot of stops with him. There's a lot of breaks in the songs that really add connection. And instead of having that piano just going ting, 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 I was just waiting for the smooth talk. Just smooth talk me. I'll buy into anything your vocal tells me if I can just connect to the smooth talk. So, and it could go different ways because it doesn't have a defined genre right now. You could do what I was saying in the previous call, which is when you go into the studio, maybe just have 2 different singers scheduled for the day. Maybe like go for like for a smooth jazz version, go for a regular jazz version, and then go for more of a country version where you have a lap steel in there. A lap steel will twang it up and just enough to scoot over into that genre. So now you spent 1 day, but you've got 3 versions of that song.
Got it.
That makes sense.
It
Because
does.
I love your singing. Was that you singing?
That was.
You Lyle Lovett all over the place.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I love that stuff. And he's the only one I know that's doing it. And we could use more of that. I'd buy into it in a heartbeat.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, who do we have next?
Next, we've got John Bernard, and it's called Sleepy Eyes.
Where did I see you, John? I saw you earlier. Raise your hand so I can find you.
Yeah.
There you are. Okay. I did see you earlier. Okay, I'm not cuckoo.
Whoops. Go. Sorry.
I saw it a second ago.
Yeah, I know. There it is.
Right below. Oh, yeah. It's a Dr. John Hill.
The sun is set behind the hill, and all the birds have grown still. The moon and stars fill the sky. Sleepy eyes, sleepy eyes. The day that dawned so bright and new has played its part and sung its tune. Nothing left we can do. Sleepy eyes, sleepy eyes. Although the day may be parted, it has shown us the way where the dreams that you dream.
Okay. What a fun, bouncy song. It's cute. It's cute. It's great for sync. Really great for sync. Okay, I did have issue with the drum. If I was bouncing, it wasn't because I was counting. It was because that boom just kept jabbing me like that every time I heard it. So you switch it up. When you got to the second half of the song, the drums changed and it was beautiful. It went right into a different, it took me right into a different place. So it was just really boom, boom. I was like, okay, that's just something that's just kind of stabbing on the drum kit. It was just a drum. Was this electronic drums or was it a real drummer? Because the drums seem more dynamics.
It's been done in a while. It might have been electronic. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. So it just seemed very punchy for me because it's a light, airy song. And then I'm just like getting like that. So something a little more subtle on the drums, or maybe brushes, or an egg shaker, or just switch it up a little bit. It was just too punchy for me for that. But some of it was bouncy, and it could have just been to the recording level too. It doesn't sound like it was a pro production. It sounds like it was more of a demo quality for me. Love the music, love the song, love the arrangement, love the vocal. On the first time when she says sleepy eyes, sleepy eyes, sleepy eyes, she went up. I tend to want to go low first, and then at the tail end of the last time you say it, then go up. And but the first time into a song, when you get there, I like to stay there or lower. Sleepy eyes, and then when it comes around again, sleepy eyes, or just go up or close it. So just on the tail end of the phrasing, I might have switched it up. I have to listen to it like 3 times, so it's not fair because I only get these like 35 seconds of the song. So if we want to do consult later, I can really fine tune it, because it's a happy, bumpy song, especially for film and TV. We get a lot of sad songs. We get a lot of "Where did you go? Why did you? How come you broke my heart?" But this was Sleepy Eyes. So everybody goes to sleep. It could work for a Pampers commercial. Seriously, it could work for a milk commercial. Glass of milk will help you go to sleep, right? So, and it was poppy, and it was family friendly, right? And so the emotion it's delivering is great for film and TV, because it was a really feel good, poppy friendly, what they call organic, fun kind of song. So I just think that if this was re-recorded with proper instrumentation and done a little more professionally, I think it's an easy sell for film and TV for sure.
Great.
Because we don't get along with that. People don't understand their readings, and they'll say, we're looking for a song, it's about this, instead of scene specific. It's bouncy. So if you're submitting to this, or you say you're filling out a form, like, okay, I'm going to send you my song for film and TV. Here's the metadata, description, up tempo, bouncy, feel good, right? Those are all the things that you wanted, instead of lost love, reminiscing, hurting, like, that. So we don't get enough of the bouncy, uplifting, quirky, feel good. And then, great for, Pampers, for milk, for bread, you know what I'm saying? For, Disneyland, whatever the thing is going to be that's very family oriented, or something to make you feel good. If I heard a track like that, and then of course something to do with sleepy eyes, so sheets, pillowcases, right? All of those things be great for one of those mattress companies, Avocado and all those things that come up. Great song. But they're more apt to re-record it and just pay you for usage of the song, which wouldn't be as much money if you delivered the song ready to go out the door, and all they have to do is just boom, stick it in there, and it's done.
Okay. Yeah.
So who are the people that you guys should be approaching if you think you have a great song for a particular product, cosmetics, food? Who does the buying for those?
Got me. Anybody that will listen to it, I would approach.
Easy lesson: ad agencies. Companies hire ad agencies to do that. So there's ad agencies that do that. You can even look up companies. You can look up Johnson & Johnson, whatever, and they'll tell you who's their ad agency for the next 3 years. So ad agencies, big buyers, big money, big bucks, probably the biggest in commercials. They're the ones that pay the $1 million for the NFL commercials and the Budweiser commercials and stuff. So if you're not taking a look at ad agencies, if we put a listing in front of you, say you go to broadjam.com or taxi.com and you've got $10 to submit the one song that you have. Do you submit it to the guy who's doing in-flight, to the guy who's doing a Florida radio station, to the ad agency, to the ad agency, or to the podcaster? Of those 4, and you can only submit one because you got $10 and not 40, who would you send it to?
Well, with this song, the ad agency for sure.
Ad agency for sure. Second, in-flight, 20 million international captured audience. Third, radio. Fourth, podcast. So it's always, you're always playing a numbers game.
Mhm.
That makes sense, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, now what if you have that song, but it's demo quality? You could still maybe do ad agency because more likely they're going to recut it in different pieces because they need stems. They need it in some sections with the vocals, some sections without. So there's that kind of deal going on. So got to have to program to what the buyer looks for instead of what the songwriter does. So it's a different hat, but that's a great uplifting fun song. I could just imagine it right now. That's the stuff I put when I tag my metadata. I immediately put ad agency, and then I'll put stuff like that. I'll put diapers, bread, a theme park. And when I start to see those words, I can already kind of imagine what the song's going to be like. And I should listen to it because it might be the right song for the client.
That's great.
If I can find it. Good job.
Thanks.
Who do we have next?
Okay, next we have Larambe with Incredible. Let's see here.
I like the song title already.
Yeah. Incredible. Our love is. Still can't believe it. Is this a dream? Feels like we're starring in a movie scene. I picture this moment in my mind when I finally find that one of a kind. It's so incredible the way I'm feeling, and you're responsible. 'Cause your love is so pleasing. It's so incredible. How deep you touch me. Had my doubts that it was possible. 'Cause love always eluded me. All the tears and the heartache, the hurt and the pain. If it led to the
Ooh, you busted out right before I cut it off. I would have liked to heard that vocal just go for that reach in the beginning
You want me to
as
play
well.
more?
Yeah. A little bit earlier. For me, it sounds, and I programmed the music forever, so it still has a very 70s sound as far as instrumentation. So some of the synthesizers and things like that, it's not as current sounding as I would want it to be. If I put my name behind it, I would want to re-record it and just get it a little bit more with the current instrumentation, sort of less electronic and more real instruments for this. Straight up R&B, smooth jazz. It would have been nice to open it up with a sexy saxophone, because it's a really great, sexy, roll in the hay kind of song. And so I'd want to modernize it with more of some more current tones on some of the synths and stuff like that, or real instrumentation. Because like, well, you guys aren't in LA, so I can't give you an example of the wave. They tend to play a lot of Earth, Wind and Fire, Chaka Khan, that kind of thing, that kind of vibe. But those were hits that have been rebooted in with today's modern market. But today, for smooth jazz, if you try to find a smooth jazz, any kind of station or podcast, you're going to hear a lot of 70s stuff in it. Whereas if you put pop radio today, you're not going to hear a lot of 70s pop songs. You're going to hear more current pop songs. They're going to sound very different. So great song, great theme. Great for film and TV. It's obviously, if you're going to categorize it to sync it for film and TV at this quality, that can work because it's not overproduced. So we can squeeze dialogue in there. So on that side for sync, it would probably work pretty well. And on your metadata, definitely got to go urban, love, sexuality. That's going to be the tone and some of the metadata words that you're going to want to use for the pitch. Or if you're reading pitches and you see those words, then those are the ones you're going to want to spend your money on or try to pitch. Those are the categories. Any questions on that one? Or I don't see where you went. Oh, there you are. Okay. Where did you go, Romney? No questions? Okay. All right, we'll go to the next one, Stephen.
All right, next one is Merle Weber, and this is called The Stream.
Okay, The Stream, like STREAM.
Correct.
Okay. So this could be a stream of tears, or it could be stream about my favorite fishing hole in the Sierras. Okay, so right near here in Oregon, I'm waiting for play ball.
I followed a stream down to the river. I followed the river.
Hey, Stephen, can you stop it
down
for a
to
second?
the sea.
Yep.
Can you start it over? That wasn't Oregon in the beginning, wasn't it? Go ahead.
She's muted.
I don't think it was in Oregon.
Okay, let
In
me just hear
Oregon?
it
Okay,
again.
it was in Oregon.
It was in Oregon?
Yes.
Okay. And then it went into piano.
Is the volume correct on that? Can you hear? You want me to turn up a bit?
Yeah,
or-
go ahead. No, I heard it. I'm pretty sure it was in Oregon. Go ahead and
Okay.
hit play.
Oh, yeah.
Like church organ. It's not just an organ.
I followed a stream down to the river. I followed the river down to the sea. Stood on the shore, saw forever. I felt a power calling me. Hoist the anchor, for the winds are with us today. Spread the canvas, we'll be on our way. There's no turning back. Set a course for the trains. We'll sail today. I followed a stream down to the river.
Okay, that's good.
I followed the river.
Good. I'm pretty sure we're all going to agree it's a gospel tune for sure. And thank you for that. I don't get enough of those. Those are great and they're money makers. I've dealt with companies like Sparrow Records and some of the Christian stuff, and they love that. So for sure it's a gospel song. Just threw me off with the organ. It was a church organ. So I would have either left church organ in and not go to piano, or just do piano, but the switch so fast in the beginning, it was just too much. So let's change that. The other thing, can you pull up the lyrics again? I was with you all the way through, and then the timing, even though it may have been recorded with the click track and the timing's off, it was just really weird. Pull those lyrics up and I'll tell you exactly where.
Yeah, I got to share the screen again here. Hold
Yeah.
on. There you go.
I think it was on the third. Oh, spread the canvas, and then you sort of stopped singing and then went on to "We'll Be on the Way." Is that correct? There was a stop there.
There was a pause.
Yeah, that was an awkward pause because your song had been flowing all the way through. Also, I think there was a little bit of once you get in on a gospel song, you get going that, and the gospel starts rising, you can't just stop it and then bring it back in. On a gospel tune, that doesn't work. I stopped and I got lost. We need to keep the flow and just build up. So, and I think there was a little bit of sort of word stuffing on Set a Course for the Trays and We'll Sail Today. I would need to hear it just at least one or two more times to pinpoint why I was feeling so awkward, but it didn't work for me with the pauses there and on the third line and on the last line of the second paragraph there after hoist the anchor. Those pauses that or whatever it was you were trying to do, it broke up the flow. The song had forward motion and I was waiting for the buildup. I was also almost hoping that you had the backup vocals on Calling Me, just a few. And then as it got bigger for the second, hoist the anchor for the winds, I would have wanted to see full chorus rise on Set a Course for the Trays, We'll Sail Today, and maybe even repeat that with the bigger chorus. So you got about 70% of what I would feel is in a complete, ready to go gospel song that I think could be absolutely magnificent. I love the title. I love the storyline because this could be religious, but it just could be a feel good, like maybe someone who's felt like an outsider, and at the end of the movie or the film, they automatically feel included. Like, oh, I get it. I am weird, but we're all weird. You know, that kind of thing. I mean, it just seemed like a calling or something magnificent has happened or is about to happen or just happened, but it feels, the lyrics, the way they're written, it feels like very inclusive. We'll sail today, not I'm going to sail today. We're going to sail today. So I love the groundness and the inclusiveness. And this is perfect for film and TV because that is the goal of film and TV, is to make everybody feel what the story's feeling. So congrats on the lyrics. So far, these are the strongest lyrics I've seen. I just need the separation on those particular seconds. I would want to reproduce this just a little bit and make some tweaks to get it to where it flows continuously and then has this big grandiose opening. And that's not bad for someone who, I don't know that you are born and raised in a choir and can do all that kind of arranging. It takes a lot of skill to do that. So if you haven't grown up in that world, then congratulations for hitting that close to the mark.
Thank you, Joanne.
You're absolutely welcome on that one. Thank you for the uplifting song. Appreciate it. All righty, who do we have next?
Next, we have Pierre Engelbert, and it's
Pierre.
called
Hey, Pierre.
Heard the Rumors.
Ooh, okay. I already like this for MTV. Too bad MTV doesn't pay very much. Okay, stop for a second. Stop the song. Okay, show me the lyric. Okay, what do you all think about the lyrics without hearing the song?
Too many.
It's a lot. Okay, so if I was to do a song like I Want to Hold Your Hand or this one, what song are you more likely to remember? Maybe I'm too old. I quoted a Beatles song. Okay.
More words and more of a
Right.
dominant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you didn't see the title of the song, where would you think you would hear the title of the song? In the chorus, right? Using the chorus. Right? That's usually where you're going to hear your hook or your line most likely. So when I see this on paper, I haven't even heard the song. When I see this paper, I heard the rumors. And then the second line starts, I heard the rumors. I think that's going to be a chorus. Can you pull the lyric sheet down so I can see what's below it? Okay, there it is. See there, that it is the chorus, right?
Yeah.
So I already know that when I hear the song, I'm going to have to hum the song back. So when someone writes a song and they hear it, our brains are kind of really simple. So we want to hear the hook of the line. So in the old days, you'd walk into the radio store and you go, I want to buy that record that goes, love, love me do, paperback writer, or something like that, right? So with this one, it's just already not jumping out as to what the title is. So I'm going to have to hunt for it. So let me just hear this, but that's a lot of words. Before we hear it, can you tell me, Pierre, what genre this is going to be?
Beats me.
Okay.
It's a slow song, pop rock, but I don't really know. Yeah.
Okay. So are there any artists that you would imagine singing this song?
I don't know enough artists to be able to tell you, but it's like I would say it's like 80s rock pop stuff. You know, that's
Okay.
my
80s rock pop. Can you name any songs that have that many lyrics in it?
It's 80s pop rock with a lot of lyrics.
Okay. So
Yeah, no, I write a lot of lyrics. I realize it's not necessarily
Yeah.
commercially
well, it
attractive.
could work if it's a rock and roll song, if it's a straight up rock and roll song, then it would work. If it was a like 80s punk, it would work. But when I ask you what genre it is, you don't know yet. So that's why I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so we're gonna hear the
Okay.
song. We're gonna see what genre we end up with. Okay,
thank you.
go ahead.
I kid you not, I hear a lot
Stop it.
of rumors going around all over town.
Okay, so vocals didn't come in till 35 seconds. So that's too long for anything that's pop or rock or commercial. But it's so long. But I did like when the electric guitar came in, because now I'm getting the style pretty clear. It's starting to punch for me. But I just wanted to point out how long that intro was. There's in that particular genre, they usually don't have an intro that long. Okay, go ahead and just continue playing.
And I can't help it, but I'm worried. And I wonder, could I lose her? You laugh it off, I ain't so tough. I'm frightened you might hit the bars. And I choke on all the smoke that you said don't come from no fire in a house. They ask incredulously, what were you thinking when you went out with me? And I, a lover or a fool, I see them fawning over you. I hear the rumors, and they're getting louder. And I hope that they're just lies from your admirers, wannabe lovers, always trying to break us apart. And I hope that they just lies. I tell you what, I smell a rat.
Up there.
It's Friday.
Okay, good. So actually, for that many words, I think the 1, 2, 3, the third and fourth, I don't really have that much problem, surprisingly, with that many words. I actually kind of like it. The problem was on the third and fourth line, you had so many words that it went so fast that I couldn't hear what you were saying. It was just too fast. We don't know. It's like speed reading. I can't do that very well either. So for the normal human, there was too many words for that. You do deliver words. You're not singing. You're talking it out. So I like this. You know who this reminds me of? That was really good at this kind of stuff was Phil Collins on his solo stuff. Phil Collins was really good at this. So I get where you're coming from with electric guitar and the positioning and everything. For sync, it's really hard because it's so many words that it might be too difficult because they really want you to be able to hear the words. And when you're going that fast with the words, I think if you just pulled, I think that you can say the same thing with a lot less words. So I might just reduce some of those words. Then on your chorus, I thought that was okay. I would have done a little more, not taken away from what you have, but sprinkled a little more instrumentation to strengthen the chorus. And then where you said, I hope that they're just lies, I would have repeated that again, just to solidify that that's the chorus, and then go back into the talking. So it's almost like spoken word kind of song. It's very, like I said, it's very kind of Phil Collins-esque for that. Also Peter Gabriel, coincidentally, but they're the same time zone. They're the same style. So now after hearing the song and instrumentation, I think that's kind of where you're going for, and you're not that far from it. Again, it's a little bit too wordy, and it sounds like the instrumentation is not exactly, but too close. It's doing too close to the same thing in the verse as it is in the chorus. So we want to switch it up and make sure there's enough separation so we know this is the chorus. And then I would repeat that last line. There's a few tweaks, a little bit less words. There's room for a little bit less words. You don't have to sing it. Also, on the vocals, you dub the vocals on top of yourself. You overdub the vocals. Why did you do that? Is it because you think you can't sing in pitch? Because it's not singing, it's talking.
Yeah, so I do that because it's a demo. Then I find it's easier to just copy the voice and then using Melodyne, I move it up to harmonize so that I save time. It's not meant to be the final
harmonies, but harmonies don't come in from the beginning of the sentence to the end. Harmonies come in as the harmonies, right? Listen to an Eagles record. When do the harmonies come in, right? When is everybody else coming in versus when is the solo? But you just have the doubled on everything all the way through. So it just sounds it makes the song sound very mechanical and robotic. So you want to make sure it's okay to overdub your vocals, but not on every word, on every line, in every section of the song. When I say section, I mean verse, chorus, pre-chorus, bridge, whatever. Because that sounds to me like you're hiding your voice. It's okay to talk it and not sing it, but I would not do that. I like that it gives a sort of an emotional effect, kind of like this sort of robotic, kind of like it does evoke a little bit of emotion when you have that, but that's not harmonizing. Harmonizing, listen to a bluegrass song or listen to a pop song where their harmonies are coming in. Listen to the Foo Fighters when the harmonies come in. You don't see the harmony on top from beginning to end, all the way through the chorus, all the way to the bridge. It doesn't do that. It just makes the song mechanical and robotic instead of giving it forward motion. So you want to sing it, and then boom, harmony, and then sing another line and boom, harmony, right? So do it that way, even for demo quality purposes, because we can't hear it. We can't say, okay, here's where the harmony comes. Or if you're not sure where your harmonies go, then don't overdub it. Just do the straight up vocals, because when a professional hears a song, if I hear a song with a single voice, I can hear where I'm going to put the harmonies. But if you've got it covered up with a double vocal, I don't hear the beauty of the song and where those would go in, those angelic voices or the support group, because you're just covering it up. So I would just rework where you have those harmonies. It's okay to use your voice and use the software that way, but not from beginning to end, because it's too mechanical, too robotic sounding, and too predictable. So we don't want to do, but I loved it, particularly if I was going to put it somewhere and I was producing the record, it would be on the verse and maybe not the chorus, or if I was going to use it the whole way through the sentence. If not, I would just sing a single voice and then just add it on the chorus maybe. Listen to a few songs that do that. So you can say, oh, okay, they're doing it here, but they're not doing it here. They're doing it on the chorus, but they're not doing it on the voice. So figure out how to break it up so it's not predictable, robotic sounding, or mechanical sounding. Otherwise, it sounds like you're just trying to cover up your vocals. A lot of people do that. You ever hear a song and all they do is use the vocoder? lot of rap and hip hop, they're not really singing. It's like they're just doing the vocoder all the way through. It's usually because they're not singing or they can't sing in pitch and they're trying to cover that up. And we see right through that. That just completely takes away from the emotion. We want to attach ourselves and our soul to this song, right? And not go, oh gosh, that electronic background through the whole song, this doesn't sound right. Instead of this way. If I hear the song this way, I can figure out maybe in the beginning song, I'll go, and then I'll start to sing the song. So then it's okay. So one of the exercises for all you songwriters is to start listening. If you want to do something a certain way, listen to some songs by pros who are making money using those tools or those techniques, and listen to the arrangements. Okay, if you're going to do a Latin song, are you listening to Latin radio? If you're going to do a pop song, pop rock, listen to the pop rock songs, listen to the male, the vocal, listen to where the harmonies are coming in. You know, there's certain bands that are really, really good with harmonies. A lot of the bluegrass bands, they're just like experts on where the harmonies should come in and shouldn't be. Some of the country rock, like the Eagles and stuff, are really good with where they should and shouldn't come in, right? If you listen to the album with Linda Ronstadt and Emmylou Harris and Dolly Parton, 3 distinct vocals, but listen to when the other 2 come in and don't come in. There's a reason, there's a purpose for that. So they only come in to lift the song and support it. But if all 3 were singing at the same time, the same words, then it starts to, you just don't hear the beauty of the independent voice. So just something to remember for all of you, to start listening to songs that are making money, either on film and TV or on radio and commercials in today's market. And so be prepared so that when we meet again in 6 months, you'll be able to put a song and I can ask you, well, what are 3 artists that currently are sounding similar to you? I don't expect you to be a copycat. We don't want that. We want you to remain original, but we still want you to remain professional. And the most important thing, we want you to compete, because you have to be equal to or better than what you're currently hearing. Okay. So just try those exercises don't just write songs, but listen to what's going on in the market first, see what they're doing, see how they're arranging their bridges. If you don't know what a bridge is, listen to a bridge, listen to the Beatles and exercise yourself to find a bridge. Take their first album and then find the bridge in each song and write it down. Then after a while you begin to go, oh, okay, I know what a bridge is now. So study your song structures in the genre that you want to be. And if you're not sure, then listen to other genres and say, okay, well, I'm pushing this too much to this genre. I think it'd be easier if I switch to this genre because I have access or tools to get to that particular place quicker. Any questions on that?
Oh, this is very useful. Thank you so much.
You're absolutely welcome. By the way, Phil Collins is one of my favorite artists, so I don't get enough of that kind of stuff. All right, who's next?
Next we have Stephen Medeiros, and it's called Carry My Soul.
Where's Stephen at?
Hi, Joanne.
Where are you? Oh, okay, there you are, right in
In
front
black
of
and white.
oh, that's what it is. Okay. And I haven't seen you in a while. Maybe your hair's longer. Let's see here. You never know with these things, right?
Carry me to the places you meant for me to be. Strengthen me in spaces my eyes weren't meant to see. My beating heart holds the hope that I need to believe. May these hands play guitar while I sing out of key. Lord, carry me as I grow, while you let me know you will safely shelter my soul, till the day my spirit lifts from this earthly gift. Lord, carry me, carry my soul.
Okay, can you stop it? Okay, I want everybody to listen. We're going to start at the beginning. Listen to when the harmonies come in. It's the same person singing, but it's not overdubbed from the beginning and end for the first 100 seconds. And also notice the length of the intro. It hits the mark right at 15 seconds, I think. Let her rip.
Carry me
12 seconds.
to the places you meant for me to be. Strengthen me in spaces my eyes weren't meant to see. My beating heart holds the hope that I need to believe. May these hands play guitar while I sing out of key.
Stop just 1
Lord,
second.
carry me as I grow.
So where it says, can you just hum that last line before you go, carry me as I go? Go up just a second, go up higher on this. I want to see the top. Okay. So right here where you, right where you say, can you just sing to me this last line?
Yeah. May these hands play guitar while I sing out of key.
Okay, so when you hit the sing out of key, I just need something on that out of key, or something. Just do a rise, or just do a hold, or just go, here I come. I'm about to hit you with a chorus right here, instead of just sort of level. Just changing the way you approach the phrasing on that is going to really just punch it right into the chorus. And then the chorus of songs. So what genre do you think this is?
Contemporary Christian is what I wrote it for.
Okay.
So this is a pitch to publisher artist demo. And that's,
Okay.
I'm not singing on this this track. This is
Okay.
Adam Cunningham out of Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this vocal is great, but it was really low and I wanted it to be country, but it wasn't country because it had adult contemporary piano. You are the wings beneath my feet kind of vibe. So the instrument was very Christian, very adult contemporary, but this heavy baritone voice, he was like, I felt like he was holding back, that he really needed to twang it out and get his country on, but he held back because it was a Christian contemporary song. So either he's not the right singer, or this needs to be a full-on kick-ass country song, something that Garth would sing as a ballad. But for adult contemporary, I thought his vocal was way too strong, and that it's if it's going to be a Christian song, I think then with his vocal, our ears are automatically going to focus on that beautiful, strong male vocal instead of the storyline as a Christian song. I don't know if that fully made sense, but he's got a really strong, beautiful voice. So imagine if Janis Joplin sang that song, would it sound Christian? Even with the piano, it doesn't, because she's just got this song voice. Well, the same thing with this guy's voice, whoever he is, I expected him to go hard in country. And so it might just need a little vocal for me, because for me, it didn't have a genre yet. It needs to be more defined, either one way or the other. So if it was Christian, he's probably too strong of a male vocal to deliver this as a Christian song for me, for what my buyers are looking for. Or a female vocal, this would have worked out perfectly with a female vocal. Would have softened it up.
Yeah,
if you just switch that up. But if you've got the funds, have a girl sing it and go Christian, and have a guy sing it and maybe not do the piano, maybe do guitar, and just deliver like a Garth Brooks kind of song. Then I think you'd have multiple uses out of it. Because right now it's not I need more to string it. As far as the song structure, perfect. 12 seconds you were into the vocal. So thank you for that. Thank you for getting into that right away and setting it up. We all knew when the singing was going to start because of the way the intro led it. It walked us right up to the front door, and then the vocals came in. So thank you for that. Really good song structure. I really wish I had like 10 minutes on each song, and then I could hear the full song or stop and start myself instead of having poor Steven just jump around so I could really fine tune what my thoughts are, but I'm doing the best I can in this particular circumstance. So trying
Yeah.
real hard.
Well, that was helpful. I am planning to record, I don't know
Female
how to say
vocals.
it. Well, I can do that easily, but I'm going to record another version to be more country, and I'm going to drop the word Lord out of the song so that it's,
Well,
I
country,
might
the country
still,
people like their Lord, so don't
yeah, I
not use
know,
that as well, you know,
but I
God
do,
and country.
yeah,
So
and I might do both.
yeah,
Because I had a couple of music supervisors and sync agencies say we love it, but we
it's
can't
not
really, we don't
defined.
have a market for Lord or God. Just
Yeah,
drop that out of the song and send us another version. So
that's
that was prompting me to do.
that's good. And I would, you got soft piano, but I would want to hear some, definitely some lap steel for sure
Mhm.
on that one. Lap steel with that guy singing, and tell him not to hold back. Throw some
Yeah,
laps and tell him to give us your best Chris
yeah,
Stapleton,
yeah.
and let him rip.
They gave me what I asked for. I wanted it to be very contemporary Christian,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he might have been holding back. He's got a lot of versatility. He's very talented,
Oh,
obviously.
I already heard that. I'm like, why is he holding back? Where's that? I was waiting for him to punch through, but I could tell that it wasn't the right song for him to punch through.
Yeah.
So he did the best he could with the instructions he was given. So got a
Right.
lot of potential. So I'm glad that they told you that. I think they're right on spot.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, good song. Thank you. Who's up next?
Okay, is there anyone here named Tasty, Taysti? Song is called Hey Hey.
Oh,
That's us.
that's us.
Are they there?
Hello.
I'm Tanya and this is Santiago.
Hello.
And
What
together
are
we're
they? Together you're what?
Tasty.
Oh, you are. Okay, so you
Yeah,
are
both
here.
of our
Okay,
names
I didn't
combined.
realize that. All right.
Awesome.
That's
That
next.
works. You guys are new. I haven't met you before, right? I've not seen you here before. Well,
No,
welcome.
that's
We're friendly.
Oh, I know you guys are so awesome. We're
Good,
really happy
good.
to be here.
All right. So before we get started, tell me what genre you think this is going to be.
We're pop rock.
Pop rock.
Pop rock. Okay.
That's what we think it is.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's let her rip. Let's see what we got here.
Okay, let me see the share screen. And here we go.
Let's run away, never looking back. Make 1,000 memories of all the times we ever laughed. Stare at sunsets, drinking as the sun begins to disappear. Here's our chance to live our lives. Hey, baby, don't ever close your eyes. Hey, hey, don't be scared of a world that's changing every day. Hey, hey, 'cause nothing's ever gonna change the way we feel today. In this lifetime, we can choose to risk it all, to win or lose. I've given up on so much, but not on you.
Bravo. Good stop. Good job. Y'all heard that change? Did you hold that break? I've given up so much. Pause. But not on you. It's like slam. There you go, right in your face. So that one break, you guys, that adds so much emotion. Imagine if they would have sang it all the way through. But I've given up so much, but not on you, as opposed I've given up so much, but not on you. I like it with the space in between. So really good job on that. Really good job on the instrumentation. It's very Katy Perry-esque. I worked with Katy at Taxi Music before she went all big, and she was a fantastic writer then, and she's a fantastic writer now. So it's very pop rock. The beginning was cool because it reminded me of The Cure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Right,
another-
I actually was listening to it because I'm like, is it too close? And then I was like, no, it's and then once the vocals came in and stuff, it didn't seem that on spot for The Cure. But so Really, really great song. How was this recorded? Sounds like it was professionally done and doesn't sound demo quality.
We have one of my closest friends growing up on the studio. We have a studio too, so pretty much we did all the demo stuff there, brought it to him, and he just redid everything in his studio. So
Like the
it's,
mixing and mastering and stuff.
yeah, we just mixed. It hasn't been mastered yet, so it's just been mixed so far. So we haven't really done as much as we want to do to it yet, but
Yeah, now I screen these on my Mac. And so to me, everything sounds like it's recorded, but not mixed and mastered. But that's
Yeah.
just because of these speakers on this thing. But boy, if this song, if it was properly mixed, because it was really tinny and high range, that's because it's not mixed and mastered yet. But once you fine tune all the bottoms on there, it's gonna punch through. She sings really high and the drums were right on. So just make sure he puts enough. If it's a pro, he'll give it the right bottoms on there to go rock and punch the rock beat. And it's gonna just sound beautiful with those high vocals. Beautiful vocals on there, by the way. Great song, great thing. I something like this, when I get excited, I think of putting this on the beginning and ending credits of a film, not in the middle part, but to start the song off or to end as the credits roll through, because it's like a full complete song. So this is definitely ready for rom-com, which I do watch by myself.
We watch it together as well.
Yeah, it's a definitely rom-com, brother. It's something that you would see, Cameron Diaz in, that kind of thing, right? J-Lo, all that kind of stuff. So I would definitely be pitching it after it's mixed and mastered. Is there going to be a whole album with the same stuff?
yeah,
we have a few more of the same stuff.
We're about 37 hours.
Yeah. No, it's really good stuff, and there's all kinds of ways. So for those of you who don't know what to do in music, whether next step, whether I'm saying get a different singer or record better or go back and rewrite a section, I do that kind of work. So I think, Stephen, you can put my phone number and email up there. And you can book one-on-one time. So I can hear the song over twice completely, right? And then make serious notes and do one-on-one, figure out what your budget is and what you can afford to go pro as far as pre-production or production, or the song's already broadcast quality, then we don't even need to discuss production. In that case, you can spend an hour with me and I'll show you who to pitch it to, where to pitch it, and how to pitch it, and how to do your metadata so that people want to do business with you.
Okay.
So that when you start to pitch a song, if you think you have songs that are ready to pitch, there are so many tools that I can provide you to get on top of the pile. I never guarantee, but I can get you on top of the pile for sure. I say, hey, my name's Joanne. I write in multiple genres. I never say all genres or most genres. I say I can write in multiple genres such as country, pop, and Americana. I'd like to send you 3 samples. May I send you 3 samples, and what method of delivery would you like? And I own my masters, and I own all my masters 100%. So if any of that didn't make any sense to you, then those are the things you want to do to get on the top of the pile. If someone tells me they own their masters and their PRO is ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC, they go right to the top. Because if you haven't set any of that up and you don't know that if you own the masters or not, and even sometimes I'll put in an email and I have the stems. If I'm doing sync, I have all the stems ready to go. Then that tells me that I could really sync this quicker because I don't have to ask. And you're not going to tell me, well, we paid this producer and he has all the files, and when he gets back on vacation next week. No. That doesn't work for sync. Film and TV and sync is generally 24 to 48 hour turnaround. When people make film, whether it's a TV, a show, a commercial, whatever, okay, there's supposed to be, that 2 months, 3 months for us to put the music to the film to match it. But in the real world, with filmmakers, producers, cinematographers, so on and so forth, they end up cutting the time off. They took out the time off for the person who has to find the right music. So by the time we get it and we have the final cut, then we've got literally like 48 hours to find the right music to place. Okay. Or the filmmaker or the producer may watch the film and go, I love it, it's great, but I hate these 2 songs. And I've got 2 days to replace those 2 songs with something that sounds almost the same. So So these things, when you say I have the stems and I have that, I could pull the stems, get a female vocal right on top of it and be done with it and get it licensed. But if you go, what's a stem? I'm like bottom of the pile, right? So they're little tools and trades. So we can always talk about that if you want to book time. I book times hour by hour. So that's something that we could follow up. And that goes for all of you in any stage, whether you need to go from demo to produce the record, or from produce to just suggesting what instrumentations are right. Or sometimes I'll do something like, I found these 3 guys, they all want to charge me $100 to do my song, Joanne. Which one do you think is the best for this song? I'm like, hands down, guy number 3. It's like a dating game. You know what I mean? Choose door number 3. The first 2 aren't right for this song. You know what I'm saying? So there, I do a lot of that. So whatever you need. And then sometimes what I've done with some of the SongNet people is I've had some Americana, sort of bluegrass, sort of acoustic people. And although I wasn't able to license them, I was able to book them on some of my festivals. Hands down, that's exposure. So there's multiple things to do. Lupita's shaking her head because she's seen me do this before. Okay, so who do we have up next?
Joanne, first of all, your email is musicbizgal@yahoo.com. Is that right?
And
You said you were
my
gonna give-
.com is also musicbizgal.com.
Oh, you mean, okay, well, what's the first part?
Music, MUSICBIZGAL. So for my website, it's .com, and for my email, it's @yahoo.com.
Okay, all right.
I can type it.
No, that's fine. And your number?
My phone number?
Yeah, you said you were going to give that, so
Yeah. So my phone number is area code 626. I'm on Pacific Standard Time, so don't call me at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
626-905-8618. I would say the best way for me to respond quickly and get back to you is send me an email at musicbizgal@yahoo.com. He just posted that. And in the subjects, just say SongNet, or saw you on SongNet on the date, because I do these twice a year. Then I'll know it's from something I just did. Because usually if you book time with me within 2 weeks, I give you a little bit of a discount if you book it right after I do the lecture. So there's that. Okay, how are we doing on time? Pretty good so far?
Yeah, it's only myself and then one other.
Okay, good.
So I
We're
don't
just
think
ripping through this.
I don't think you've heard this one, but if you have, well, you haven't heard it in a long time, probably.
Okay.
This is one called Thought Crime. Don't know if you've heard this.
That name doesn't ring a bell, but you know how many songs I screen in a week.
Right. Well, here you go.
Thought crime, spies are listening. Thought crime, to what you're typing. Thought crime, paranoia sting. Be careful what you say. Thought crime, written evidence. Thought crime may twist common sense. Thought crime, police make you tense. Be careful what you say. Fantasy in the wrong hands may jail you if you make plans. Roleplay, you could be used, might get you accused of thought crime. It could.
So this is a good song in that for crime drama, which is probably the biggest sort of topic in film and TV. We don't get enough of that sometimes. This theme is really good for that kind of a placement. It's easier to land. That and children's music are easy placements. But keeping with that, I hear I have one issue is the music versus the lyrics. And I've tried to teach this to interns, and it takes a long time when I'm screening music for film and TV. There is a difference between suspense and horror or guilty. Suspense is like bum bum bum. So the ending of that could be positive or negative. Okay. So I'm hearing thought crimes, spies are listening, thought crimes to what you're typing, thought crimes, paranoid sting, be careful what you say. Okay. So that's like more of a song of caution. It's a be careful. The words about being careful, watch what you think, be mindful. Okay. So that's what the lyrics are saying. Now, if I take the lyrics out and I wasn't reading them, and I heard this exact same song without the music, it's very piercing and it's very guilty and it's very Chucky's here and he's going to harm us. So these two don't work in the sense of for sync and film, because the music is scary, horror, guilty, piercing, whereas the lyric is there's too much guilt and there's too much something bad has happened or about to happen, instead of suspense. Suspense isn't always have a bad ending. It could go up or down. I had to learn this from a couple of different music supervisors. So the music was like guilty already, but the words were like things could go wrong here. And in film and TV, there's a big difference. It's hard for me to explain, but do some of you understand what I'm saying? The music is like, for these lyrics, I wouldn't have gone with those choppy, piercing things. I would have done strings and a little more flowy, to saying that this could go right or this could go very, very wrong, and as opposed to if you just take it and I just hear the music, it's like already guilty, death has already happened, or for sure this is going to turn around. So there's a difference between for sure bad's going to happen and suspense. Suspense is more like, guilty, not guilty, versus Friday the 13th. And so for those two, they don't work me, only for film and TV. Now, for radio, what were your intentions to doing with this? Usually, Stephen, you want to sync something.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah.
As opposed to get radio airplay or something like that. You're not just saying, oh, I want to put this on adult contemporary, right? You're trying to sync this up. I would either take those lyrics and do something like more stringy, listen to a little bit more crime drama. Crime drama is not the same as horror, and this has both. So I would go with the horror, then I would change the lyrics differently, or I would change the music. And so I kind of focused on the lyrics because people don't talk about these things, these thoughts that go in their mind. But I wouldn't have put the music as guilty as charged already. Something bad already happened. I would be more, it could go wrong. Hopefully I explained that the way I wanted to.
Yeah, I think I understand. Yeah, like you say, difference between suspense and horror.
Yes, it's a big gap, and I've seen people like me lose their position by continuously sending horror music for suspense or drama. Just because you walked into the room and the husband's dead on the floor and she has a knife in her hand with blood doesn't mean she killed him already. So that's what somebody told me once. So it's more like, oh my gosh, what happened? What's going on here? But when you have then it's like, oh my God, somebody died here. They're already guilty and it's already happened. And so it takes the mystery out of it. So you have two different genres. I hear horror in the music and I hear drama, suspense in the vocals. So for the drama suspense, if you want to stick with that, I would do something more stringy and more orchestral. That would put the point across. If you want to go more horror, then I wouldn't use words that sound like a crime investigator. If that makes sense. I couldn't put the two together.
Okay.
What were you thinking when you designed this? What did you have in mind?
It was more like Minority Report, that kind of thing.
Okay, so So
Yeah.
on that one, do they have vocals like that? Where they're doubled from beginning to end? Does it even have vocals?
I'm not sure. I think it's all just orchestrated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all just orchestrated. So if that's the case, pull the vocals out. You can do one or the other, but the two together are one's telling me fried food and the other one's telling me baked. I'm like, which one is it? Do we want greasy fried food or do we want healthy baked? So they're just too separate of a genre for me. So that's why I wouldn't like put it into my library. But if I had the music without the lyrics, I would put it in there. Or if I had the lyrics with more stringy orchestral stuff, then I would take it.
Okay.
So I just think you need to separate them out, and that'll give you more value to the music and the song.
Right.
Yeah. That was the hardest thing I had to learn when I started working with music supervisors. It's like, Joanne, you killed the guy off and he didn't even do it. He's not a monster. He's just somebody who accidentally got involved in something. I'm like, okay. So it took me a few years to get that one. And okay.
There was another one submitted by Timo and the White Buffalo. This is a little
Timo, I know Timo.
because it's a YouTube link. I gotta figure, you're supposed to send in MP3s and lyrics, right? So this is just a link, and I don't know if it's gonna work or not because we're already streaming on YouTube. So
I see. Yeah, it probably isn't gonna work. But you know what? I know him. So when we're done, just email me the link and then I'll contact him with a review.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. I'm just trying to ask myself how I can try to pull this off. Let me see if let me put it in the chat.
Timo's actually on YouTube watching. So
pardon?
Yeah, Timo's on YouTube watching. He couldn't get on for some reason.
Is that the last? Is this the last song, or is there another one? Pita,
Well,
are you
there's
still
one more
there?
by Rich Marquetta, but
Pita?
I guess he couldn't make it or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's on or not. But
Give me
it's
one
Rich
second.
Marquetta. But let me see if I can punch it up and see if I can get it to come on. Just give me a minute here. Here's the link.
I was just thinking about my last comment, and I wanted to add, I get my words tangled on the horror thing. There's a difference between suspense and horror. So suspense is Magic Johnson or Larry Bird going to hit that 3-pointer to win the game, versus here comes here comes a monster with an axe. So those are the two that get mixed up, is suspense. So your lyrics were suspenseful. And then, so there's a big difference between suspense versus horror or scared, different emotion.
Let me do this. Let me bring this up and see if it give me a second here. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen, and
I'm gonna get up for 1 second.
All right.
I'm here though.
Okay, so here we go. I think it's gonna work. Tell me when you're ready.
Okay. I'm here, but I think you're gonna try and play it. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
That's a really
Okay.
beautiful melody. Really pretty. Don't get enough flute these days, that's for sure. So this is very panoramic. So for sure, he's got to be pitching this and using the word panoramic outdoors. It's really good for stuff like Yellowstone and 1823 and all that kind of stuff. Deadwood, you know, that works good, except for the piano. The piano was real punchy for me, and I loved the flute. It almost kind of at some places was a little overbearing for me. I liked the flute more than the piano. I might have maybe added a string instead, or just gone a little softer on the piano, a little less brighter and a little more softer. I think would have worked for me, just because I want to hear every single note on the flute resonate. And I noticed on the piano, on the sustain, it held for a while and it punched through a little bit harder. And so just a slight change in I think the piano tone would have worked better for film and TV. Because remember, in film and TV, there's horses riding, there's people yelling, there's dialogue. So the piano ding, 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 sort of like the grand piano sound, doesn't work as well if it was a softer tone or a string like a fiddle, right? Playing the exact same parts as piano was. For me, that would work better for film and TV, because in my catalog for film and TV for that kind of panoramic music, I don't hear I hear piano or I've heard flute, but I've not heard those two combinations sing together for film and TV in that manner. Perfect melody. It's hard because, again, I'm just using my Mac here. It turns out that the piano may sound completely different than what I hear it on my Mac. So you'll have to forgive me for that part. But Timo's a great writer, great melody maker. And I think he's had success on film and TV for this kind of stuff. It's been a while since I chatted with him, but I'm pretty sure he's got a lot of stuff placed in film and TVs and documentary and stuff like that. So for documentary, it would work good, right? Because it doesn't have to be a time period piece. So if it's just a documentary and they're just talking about history, then it would work. But for me, I would just put a little damper on the piano and have the piano play more of a supportive role to the flute, or possibly even add a third instrument to push the melody or soften it up a little bit more, because the piano does support the overall melody of the song, but it's also punchy. And I think a violin or something might just soften it a little bit, or another flute too. So again, and if I heard it in the studio, I'd be better equipped to give advice on sonically on the tone of it, but that's what I'm hearing at this point. So do we get everybody?
Last one is Rich Marquetta. He's not
Okay.
here, but he's a regular, so he may be listening on YouTube. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have the lyrics up. This is called Bonnie and Clyde Revisited.
Okay.
And this will be the last one then.
Okay.
Okay.
Mad dog pump crazy in love in 33. Highway abusers and robberies. Bonnie and Clyde. You know, Ford V8s were in their company cars. Trouble was, it took them way too far. Bonnie and Clyde. True love shall last a long time too, but those photogenic tags help the coppers serve the blues.
Okay. Okay, what a cute, fun song. I like it. I don't know that it's commercial friendly, because I don't know what station I'd put it on, but I definitely like the song. I had a lot of issue with the bass line, a lot. I mostly heard the bass line on that song. I didn't hear anything else. Mandolin would have been great if it would have been supported with an upright bass. That song needed to be either mostly I would have done it all acoustic for sure. Upright bass, a mandolin, and then either a banjo or acoustic guitar. And all I heard was the high bass. Boom, 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 boom. That's what I was hearing the whole time. And so it was covering up the storyline, which is really cute and kind of funny and quirky. And then the mandolin would have been okay. And like I said, a fiddle would have been fun with it too, an acoustic bass. And I'm not sure what genre. I'm not sure if it's going quirky or sort of old timey. A fiddle would make it old timey, and I'm not sure what kind of placement he was going for, what method he wants to monetize that song. So without those answers, I can't really advise which way to go or rework the song, if he's trying to sync it or trying to put it on pop radio or trying to pass it on to another person to sing. So without further detail, there's not a whole long, but definitely the only thing I could tell on that one for sure is I had a little bit issue with the bass line. Of course, most of these songs aren't mixed and mastered properly, so that usually tends to be an issue anyways, is the bass line, until it's mixed in properly. But that's about all I could say for that one without having him here. He's not here, right?
Not that we know of, yeah, unless it's, but I'm not tuned into there. So anyway,
Okay.
let's see. But we've been going for pretty much 2 solid hours. So I think.
Really? It went by fast.
Yeah, I think we can call it a wrap. You have any final comments or anything?
There's a few of you that are in there that didn't submit music. Where are you? Most of you submitted music. Okay. What have you been up to? I don't see your name up there, but let's see here.
Ed, I think.
Ed, thank you. Ed,
Nothing spectacular.
Exactly. What have you been up to? I didn't hear a song from you. Catherine, she sent me a Christmas song. I'm not tired yet. And do we usually end at 9 or 10?
Oh, usually 9:15, something like that.
All right.
I've got a couple more songs.
Well, does anybody have songs take long, but just general questions about music business or anything like that?
What's your take on the AI thing?
It's very entertaining on TikTok. I don't appreciate it when it comes back. I mean, I don't know, with John Lennon being the way he is, I don't know how he would have personally felt about his voice being AI'd. So I'm not a big fan of that, because I'm a big fan of maintaining your rights to your songs and maintaining your voice. I think that if someone's using your voice and is monetizing because it's mimicking your voice, which is a famous voice that you've already established to make famous, that I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. But if I think someone signs off on it, hey, yeah, my name's John Lennon, and I think it's cool, go ahead, then that's fine. And again, it should just be an option. It should be an option.
Well, because for myself, I was thinking, well, hell, Rich Little used to do all those impersonations, pretty much spot on back in the day, and it wasn't.
But it was a different medium. So he made his living on television and doing live comedy, and he had to work those. So, and it wasn't a full thing, and it wasn't the same thing all the time. If there's a difference between selling a John Lennon album and selling a sample of a John Lennon album in comedy. So it's a different realm for me. Completely different realm.
Yeah, because there are plenty of vocalists that sound like someone else that are out there.
That's still their real voice, and it's still their real songwriting. It's a whole package deal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not hip with that at all. I mean, how do you feel about if I took the bar exam and passed it without ever going to school for it?
That would
Would
be
you
cool.
want me as your lawyer?
Sounds good to me.
Maybe.
Kind of. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
but
Want me to
AI
learn?
has passed the bar
I think you'd
exam.
still be good.
That's the problem.
So, you
I'm
know,
not.
that's
I
how I
think-
feel about AI.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
but I think overall it's dangerous. I think that the potential it has to screw things up. So I'm not just specifically sounding off on just, you know, copying vocals, but like just the whole future of AI just really terrifies me if we don't get a hold on it.
Yeah.
If you've
Daniel,
seen
you
the
have a
movie
question?
Asteroid
I've
City,
Mm-hmm.
you've seen the
Yeah,
movie
I can't wait to
Asteroid
see it.
City, I think it's AI written.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
think-
somebody still had to fund it and put their money behind it and act it out and film it out. It didn't just, hey, that's one thing AI can't do. It can't actually make the film
Yeah.
yet.
Daniel had a question.
I have a question, Joanne. Kind of two questions, if I can slip two in. But
Absolutely.
the first question I have is, there are cases where I understand the importance of owning the master, complete ownership. There are songs that in my catalog, you know, they're not known or anything, but some were recorded by artists, like local artists here and there, regional artists.
Mm-hmm.
I have one was recorded by a woman who unfortunately passed away, and she was, but I know the producer. So I do not own those masters, of course. I own the publishing of the songs, let's say. But so I've been thinking of how can I? It's the same, just leave them lying there. So my thought was perhaps I can make an agreement, a contract with the owner of the master, because I know that I gather that no end user will want to deal with two people. But I'm wondering if you know how they might feel about
Well, it
having.
depends. Let's start off with the first part.
Okay.
What are the percentages? 60-20, 50-50, 70-30?
I'm assuming it'll be 50-50, master and song. That's my guess.
Okay, so was it a co-write?
No. No. The ones I'm thinking of were not.
Okay, so you wrote the song and somebody else sang it and paid for the production of it?
Yes, and released it, you know, but they're not. But what I'm saying is they're not like major hits or anything. They're known in certain quarters.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I record your song and then I pass away, but it's a good song. And so you're thinking that the song that I did with my vocal on it has potential to be licensed. And if it does get licensed, you won't get the publishing, but you will get the songwriting credit for it.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So who?
Actually, it's the publishing I would own. I thought I would assume they would just own the master use rights. Master, like as a writer, I'm assuming I haven't signed away my
It's not going
publishing.
to get placed if there's not a person alive to place it.
Well, what I'm saying is I would be the one to place it, and actually in
Okay,
most
so
of the cases,
all you need is permission from the estate. Is there a spouse or a child?
well, yeah, and that's only one case. In most of the cases, the performers are still living, so I make the focus too much on that. I'm just saying that I don't own the master. Somebody else paid for the recording, did all that stuff, and I would like to pitch the master for a placement or whatever. And so the question is how to finesse that. Should I just make an agreement with the owner of the master so I can?
Sure.
I'm assuming. Okay, and so I'd be in a sense they allow me to control it, but I couldn't claim to be owning it.
Right. So you've given, and you want to make sure that in there you put what your intentions are. That, okay, listen, if I'm going to try to push this song, I want 2 years to push it or 3 years to push it. And you can't let anybody else push it until my 3 years are up.
Okay.
Or you can do non-exclusive, but you kind of be shooting your foot. I mean, the thing is, you probably not want to be exclusive, because if they place it, you still get paid anyways.
Yeah. I wouldn't care. I'd be glad just to have the song.
So you just have to have something on the paper that you legally rep the song for the person that owns the masters, and they're probably going to say yes, that's fine, because they don't know how to sell it themselves. It's not something
they're probably not motivated to.
Yeah. There's no motivation there too.
I have a follow-up.
Get an agreement to just get an agreement to do it, and then also charge an admin fee, 10% or 15%. So if I'm going to do it, so then you have the right to sign off it and to admin. So you're going to be pushing all the paperwork, setting it up with the PROs.
Okay.
Make sure that you're collecting.
Good. I hadn't thought of that.
to make sure that you pay yourself for doing the admin work.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. That's very good. Can I, unless someone else has a question, can I ask a quick follow-up?
Sure.
Sort of related. Like many songwriters coming up, I have songs that go back a ways. Not quite back to the wax cylinder days, but pretty far. And I did, so I like even the one I played, very often if I've recorded with people, I don't have all the releases. I could probably get the release from the singer, but how many releases would I need to get in order to pitch it? I mean, I do I have to find all
You
the
have to go by
musicians?
all right. So everybody in this room, please make note. There are little mobile apps that you can add on your phone for just a few bucks. You can Google it, split songwriter sync, whatever. And when you write the song, when you're done or before you start, to say, hey, we're going to write a song. How do you want to do this? 50-50, or do you want me to write the lyrics and whatever? So when you're done, you just fill out the little form. You say, what's your ASCAP number? Okay, here's going to be the name of the song. Let's do our splits. And then you always have it on file. So 10 years from now, whether the person's alive or not alive, the song's been registered and you're getting your percentages and you have that information. For those of you who don't, you have to ask these questions.
Mm-hmm.
Who wrote the song, the music? Who wrote the lyrics?
Mm-hmm.
Where was it recorded? And who was paid? Okay. If it was work for hire, and as long as you have a receipt, a screen print of a Venmo. So with the bands that I work with, they'll record their old songs, but maybe we'll have to hire somebody to play a flute because nobody in the band plays a flute or whatever, drummer. So it's just a work for hire. So I just make sure they send me, oh, I paid this guy $100 for this session. I just make sure they put the name of the session, the date, the name of the song, and what instrument they played. And then I just print that, stick it in the folder for the band. So then I'm like, it's a work for hire. I paid you Venmo. The artist paid you X amount, so you don't own anything to it. They own all the rights and the masters. So, but if you went and you recorded a song and you didn't pay for it and you don't know who paid for it and you don't know where the masters are, you have to find all that off and get all those permissions. So it's different for every song. The answer is different for every song.
Okay, but if it's a song that I worked with some people recorded, I did a demo of years ago, let's say.
Did you pay them?
That I paid for. But
Okay. So
I paid for them, but I didn't get a release. So in other words,
so do an email. Just do an email. Email is considered legal. So just go, hey, I'm going to be pitching this song. I just want to reconfirm that this was an old song that I cut and paid for back in 1972. And I want you to know, kind of step around and like,
get permission.
Hey, guess what? Joe, John, and Jerry, I've got some interest in this song. So I'm going to be pitching. This is the one that we did back in 1972 where, I paid for that session.
Yes.
Wish me luck.
Okay. Is a release required?
And then they're not saying, oh, well, wait, I never got paid for that.
Right.
It's kind of hard to go back, but,
yeah, I just didn't do it again.
Pull your notes out from those days, pull any information, just try to the reason you need to cover yourself is because this is what happens, and it happens often, is so you get that song, so you paid for the session, and you might have even bought them lunch and paid them $200 cash for the day.
Mm-hmm.
But now it gets on a Martin Scorsese movie and it starts making money, that they're going to come after you. Well, I never got paid. And I was like, they also have to prove that they didn't get paid too, and that they had a contract or that it was them playing on it. They're going to have to show their judge that calendar from 1972. Go, look, I write everything that did. And right here, it says I was in this studio that day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's that too. But you don't want to pitch something that's real large if you don't have agreement. And the other thing, this has happened before, is you can re-record the song.
Yeah.
And then pay the work for hires and then own it again. And then don't deal with that.
Yes. One final, do I need to get releases from everyone who might have played on the session, just the producer of the session, or what?
Anybody who you think could come after you and say, this is what I did on this record and I never got paid.
Yeah. Okay.
So in your emails, for example, I produced an album. It was a tribute album to a teacher, and all of his students who are famous performed on the record. So I sent emails out and I said, thank you for donating your time to record on this record and donating your publishing for this record. He appreciates it so much, and we love you.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
So I have one for
Exactly.
everybody, right? And then the one tenor player that didn't know the person I brought in, I paid Venmo and put a screen sheet and had a little release signed. So there's that. So it's just called
Okay.
cover your butt, however you need to cover it.
Sounds good.
You know,
Okay. Yeah.
does that make
Thank you.
sense?
Oh,
Every
perfectly.
individual
Yeah.
case is different, but just, you know, it's basically who's going to win it in court. But the thing is,
Right.
people, if I have 3 of you here and all 3 of you can have this song on this Scorsese movie, if Steven has his paperwork, I'm just going to use his song because he's got the releases and the work for hire.
Right.
All
Yes.
in a little folder, so no one's going to sue me when his movie makes 10 million because it's the theme to Titanic.
Right. Very good.
Okay. Right.
Okay. Thank you. That's great. Great advice.
Yeah. And if you can prove to a judge that you try to find the person, get a hold of them, or you just take your portion. Hey, there was 3 of us. I'm claiming 33%.
Right.
Good luck finding the other 2.
Okay.
You know,
Exactly.
so, yeah.
Thanks.
Good question though. Any other questions? Oh, who's that, Tara?
That's me. I'm sorry. This is my picture. I have a question.
Sure.
I'm just listening, and I dallied in songwriting, but not really, because I don't even play in public or nothing. But I'm curious, how much do people make for putting their music in a movie? I mean, how is that?
All right, let's go over that real quick. If you place a song, these are just roundabout figures. If you get your song on a podcast and it's local, maybe $100, $250. If you get your song on a podcast that's maybe regional, say from here to the Mississippi and back, then you might get $500 to $750 for a year. If you get your song was played at the beginning or the exit of a podcast that's international, you may get $1,000 a year. If you get a song of 15, 20, 30 seconds in a sitcom, you might get $25,000 to $5,000 for the first year, plus a bunch of back-end royalties that will continue to pay for a very long time, depending on how many reruns it has. If you get a independent film, you're looking probably somewhere between $10,000 to $25,000 up front, plus back-end fees for all the reruns. So that's the upfront. If you're looking at a major motion picture, you could be getting up to $1 million for a song if it's got a famous person singing it, because it's also based on resume. So the answer is anywhere from $50 to probably $2 million. It's the royalties that keep coming. So I have 3 artists on the Freaky Friday movie for Disney, but of those 3 artists, there are 6 placements. One girl has a couple of them on there. So I've got 6. And that movie paid a lot in the beginning. I think I must have gotten like $2,500 for each song times 6. Okay. That was my cut. Or I split with the artist $2,500. So we each split $1,250 each. Then it went to Blockbuster, a little more money came in, and then it kind of died out. And then boom, here comes Netflix. Boom, here comes Hulu. Boom, here comes Disney Channel. And then it got licensed all over the place. I'm keep collecting checks constantly for that movie times 6 every time it comes in. They're the gift that keeps on giving. And the other example is, what if you wrote the theme song to what was Jeb Wapner's Court? Bob.
The People's Court.
The People's Court.
Bob. One song. Or what if you wrote Santa Claus is Coming to Song and you never wrote another song the rest of your life? How many times do you hear the People's Court song? How many languages do you think it is? It's over 100 languages. That show's been on for 30 years. Ching to ching to ching to ching. And all it is a 15-second. That's it. So it could be infinite. There's a lot of money to be made in film and TV. A lot.
What about an ad?
Oh, those are even better. Have you ever seen an NFL commercial? Those are $2, $3, $4, $5 million. They're usually buyouts, and the money's usually paid up front because they know they're gonna run it, and they're only gonna run it for 1 year. So it's time spins. So there's no crystal ball.
Yeah,
So
best story
the
I've
answer,
heard-
but the answer you can pretty much guess depending on the audience. Local, regional, national, independent film, national film, USA, Canada, or worldwide. And is it a successful show? I'd be making a lot of money if I had written a theme song to Friends. I wouldn't have to work anymore if I just wrote the one theme song. I'd be
Yeah.
living off of that check. Or better yet, Santa Claus is coming to town. Sheet music, stuffed animals, greeting cards. Everybody covers it. Country, classical, you name it. Choirs, sheet music in colleges, marching bands. Cha-ching for that. So the answer is infinite. It could be infinite.
The
And
best
don't
one
get
I've
me
heard,
started if you have 2 hit songs.
best one I've heard on that, Joanne, was Steve Miller of the Steve Miller Band. Was they had a talk at ASCAP.
Mhm.
We were talking about his song, you know, I want to fly like an eagle, be free. They licensed to the post office.
Mhm.
Guess how much they got for that song?
Probably
10
a lot.
million.
Yeah.
10 million.
Yeah. But they can't sell him. Okay, so guess who I work with? Matt Axton, who is his father, Hoyt
Really?
Axton. What song did he write? You ever heard of Hoyt Axton?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2 of you. Okay. But have you ever heard of a song called Joy to the World, all the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue? He wrote that song. Everybody knows that song. I mean, it was even on Sesame Street. So a lot of money there. Too bad he sold it to Sony a long time ago, and the family didn't get those rights. But that song, everybody knows the song. Everybody knows the song. Who doesn't know the shark song? Baby shark song, right? I mean, so, you know, there's lots of answers. So it's not how good or how bad the song is, it's how many times it gets placed and in how many locations. That will determine the amount of money. So there is a pile of money depending on how lucky your placement is and where it lands.
And then
Like,
of course
then it-
Yahoo.
Yeah.
That guy made so much money on just one word.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, yeah. So the answer is infinite. I hope that kind of explained it. Is when someone says, I want to license your music, and you're like, great, this sounds like a great opportunity. Can you tell me what your audience reach is? Is it radio? Is it synced with television? Is it in Mexico only? Is it global? Is it national? Is it regional? Is it a podcast? What's your podcast numbers? Well, I've got 1,000 subscribers. Oh, I got 1 million subscribers. Well, make sure you charge the person who has 1 million subscribers more money than the person who has 1,000 subscribers. Negotiate. Good question. Anybody else? I think that's it. No, we're good. I'll see you all in 6 months, right?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Joanne. Really appreciate it. And
Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you,
let's,
Joanne.
let's do lunch on a Wednesday real soon. All right.
All right. You're still doing your featured artists at the homestead?
Not
Showcase?
featured artists. It's
Showcasing?
just showcase. Yeah, just a regular showcase. So, you know, everybody's welcome to come play. It's always fun, and it's been real good.
All right. And you guys can all support me by watching watertowerband.com, Water Tower. That's what I do. That's one of the bands I represent. And what I've done for them, not that you asked, but what I've done for them is I've been working with them for close to 4 years. I've gotten them, raised them from $800 gigs to $3,000 to $5,000 now per gig. And they went from a side stage to a front main stage band. And they went from, you know, California to Idaho, Oregon, Nevada. And it's taken about 3.5 years to build their audience, find their fan base. A lot of that had to do with TikTok, social media, all those numbers, stuff like that, and getting them booked. So if you want to see what I do when I work with an artist, that's one of them. My favorite. I love to tour with them.
Yeah, Kenny got a haircut.
Yeah, he did. He got a haircut. But so he went, you know, from last year showing up in the jam tent to the band playing the main stage and opening up the entire festival. And he became really good friends with Jack Tuttle, who happens to be Molly Tuttle's father, who happened to win a Grammy and 3 IBM A awards, one for songwriting, one for performance, and one for vocals. 3 different ones in IBM. And then she just won a Grammy this year. And so presence has a lot to do with it, and how you, who you use and how your career is guided. Everything we've done is strategic. It didn't just happen, and it wasn't just luck. So there you go. All righty. And then I'll see you all at Huck Finn, right? October 5th, 6th, and 7th. Benelli Park 3-day festival, acoustic and newgrass, bluegrass music. Right? Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, y'all. Take care.
Great. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.
Steven,
Bye-bye.
thanks,
Thanks.
Jimmy.
Bye, Tanya.
Thank you.
Bye.
thank
Nice
you.
meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Take
All
care.
right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to